Welcome to the Second Win Boxing Media. I'm your host, Rashid Hammond, and alongside...
It's your boy, Caesar Fantastic.
Hey, lil' bro, we finna do 10 rounds, and we both gonna get 100+ million for it.
Right.
And we ain't never got a box again. Well,
Right.
well. I already been getting these bets, but now it's time for you to
Yeah.
get your just due.
Right.
And you ain't never got a box again. That would have been done.
Yeah.
That would have been done.
Right.
But I don't know if he want to see me with that type of money.
But why?
Hey, what we just heard, that was an excerpt from Adrien Broner, his interview with Cigar Talk. Basically breaking down like he wants a fight with Floyd, you know what I mean? And he thinks that the two can make upwards to $200 million for the fight, like $100 million each. What you think about it? What you think about the fight? What you think about the possibilities? And
Oh, man. Until I watched that clip, the whole actual interview, I was skeptical at first, but I think as you were talking a few minutes ago, man, it kind of seemed like it could be a big blockbuster fight because it's one of those fights you would want to see and always probably wanted to see how Floyd would do with Adrien Broner because you got a lot of people that hate Floyd as well as hate Adrien Broner. So I think far as friendship wise and business wise, it would be good for both of them because they both can feed each other's Floyd's already got a lot of money, but Adrien Broner could definitely use $100 million to add to his flow and create a generational wealth situation for his family. Only thing, Floyd probably be concerned about, how, would that work in terms of, I know Adrien don't care about how it would look if he lose or whatever, win or whatever would be the case. Floyd will more be concerned about reputation and probably the things that Adrien Broner would probably say to him prior to fight, which I wouldn't really care because of the money factor in the play. And Floyd ain't gonna give him no 50% of anything. He might get 75, probably get 50 million, and Floyd probably want 150 million. So which is just how he has that right to negotiate like that because Adrien never made 50 million in one fight. So 50 million would still be good to him,
What? 50 million be great to me. Like
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm with you. I think dare I say this, that might be the biggest fight in boxing. Like professional or exhibition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't see two bigger names. Like for Adrien Broner to be gone for so long and still move the needle like he does.
Yeah.
Like he was basically out of the ring for a couple years. And he still moves the needle. He's still like a draw. He's still probably the biggest boxer in boxing. You know what I mean? Like name recognition wise. So for him and Floyd, and we all know what Floyd does, and you put those two mouthpieces together, promotional aspect of it. I don't think nothing. As far as like we like to talk box office wise, I don't think nothing beats that. And as far as skill, like it's still a fight that we want to see, even though Floyd's skills, I don't know if they're not peak Floyd, as far as what we've seen his last fight. They're not peak Floyd, but they're still adequate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most definitely.
And we gotta wait and see. Broner fights on the 20th, I think, right? And we got to wait to see what his looking like right now. And if he shows to be anything like what he used to be, or just still good and decent enough, I think this is a fight they can really sell like easily.
I'm gonna play this excerpt also of Adrien Broner talking about canceling his fight that you mentioned.
Oh yeah, he
Let
said.
me play this.
Nigga like that, oh, that's it. I'ma learn from it. Yeah. But at the end of the day, why not get in there and let's make 9 figures apiece? I love to see that. I would love to see that. They keep doing all this, and I'm not hating. I love Jake Paul. I love Logan Paul. I love what they doing for the sport. All that shit is cool. But I'm just saying, bro, I got to fight in 3 weeks, bro. Yeah. If Floyd called me and say we gonna do an exhibition, I will stop that fight, bro. You got to. You got to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how serious he was about making that happen. He said if Floyd called him, he said he will cancel his fight.
Cut that joint over. If Floyd called me, I cut off everything too. Hey, she
Show
talking
love.
about we got a show. We got a show. Nah, champ, I'm gonna fight Floyd today.
Yeah, and you know what? If you really look at it, like, and we've been doing comparisons of big major fights lately. Adrien Broner by himself wouldn't be able to do such things, but Floyd and him together might make something special.
The Floyd, him, the backstory of it. He's supposed to be the next Floyd. Him with the Floyd style. You know what I mean? It'd be like a mirror match or whatever.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
You know, they share a lot of the same training, and it really does lead to something like that. Like I say, could be sold easily. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He also
go ahead. What you say?
So he also mentioned in that interview, he been in training camp for 6 months.
Yeah, I didn't know that though.
Yeah, like what do you think? Like what do you think of like a 6-month training camp? Like
That's in my opinion. Professionals don't need 6 months of training away like he did. He said he was in Colorado for 6 months, correct?
yeah,
I wouldn't recommend that, but his case is different. He drinks a lot, and he still lives a regular rapper type lifestyle. He doesn't live the lifestyle other than training time like a rapper or something, drinking and clubbing and things of that nature. So 6 months is very smart for him. You know what I'm saying? Usually I would say a person goes on a 6-month training, they overtrain. It's a such thing as that. You burn out, you can overtrain, and you never will get that second wind. Let me say it again. That second wind that you are looking for because of the overtraining. But it is fighters out here, I know a lot of them, that train all the time, all year long. They're constantly in the gym. But they don't train. It's like Floyd trains all year long. He trained all year, but Floyd would go in that 6-week peak and go hard, and preparing for fights. Adrien is a different case because of his lifestyle. So I can understand why he's not using that routine of the 6-week training. 6 months makes sense for a person that drinks, and I ain't gonna say no drugs. I know he just drink. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't do that to him, man. I wouldn't do that to him. And I like Adrien, man. You know what I'm saying? I know guys in both his camps. You know what I'm saying? His trainer Mike used to be who also is training Gerald Tucker, used to be our JO team for the USA team coach back then in the 90s. So I knew Mike, you know what I'm saying, and all of those guys for many years. And Gerald Tucker, who used to be my teammate on the JO squad back in 94, also I've known him for many years. And that connection is still Floyd, because Gerald Tucker trains Floyd Mayweather also. So and I can see the difference between him being with both of them, the lifestyle difference, He's more, you know what I'm saying? Floyd has a lifestyle like no other, you know, in terms of constantly not drinking, but he has a good time, you know what I'm saying? He has women, he do all that good stuff, but he doesn't drink and he doesn't abuse his body. And that would be a deciding factor between if Adrien Broner and him was to meet, and that's what will be against Adrien for that purpose. But I like both of them, man. Personally, you know what I'm saying. Personally, behind closed doors, I would like Adrien Broner more than Floyd Mayweather behind closed doors in terms of personality wise. Adrien Broner is a good guy, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, on camera he seems like an asshole, but behind closed doors, he's an excellent guy, man. He's a great guy. He does a lot for the people. Floyd does too, but Floyd doesn't show his either. Floyd does a lot as well. But Adrien, I you know what I'm saying, I've heard stories first-handed of some of the things that he's known for doing. So, but $100 million, man, I think he should make it happen, man. I truly think Floyd should go ahead and make that happen and set it up for September. What's this? August, 6 weeks. You do it this week, you can get 6 weeks in. But that ain't happening though. But you know.
Oh man, yeah.
And, go ahead, Sean.
No, I was about to say, getting on to that, back to that 6 week thing 6 month thing for me was, I think that it was needed for him specifically because the questions that I had the last time we spoke on him. You know what I mean? When I said, I wonder, you know, you got to figure out, is his heart still in it? You know what I mean? Because of the lifestyle that he lives or whatever. And I think that they really needed that 6 months, like to put him through the ringer. Yeah. Like, okay, yeah, now we're gonna work you to death for 6 months. See if you really want this. You know what I mean? And it's like, so it was just it was a test, really. The 6 months was a test to see, you know, do you really want to still go on with this? Can you still get through a training camp? You know, and we just gonna put it through. You're gonna put you through it, you know?
Yeah, Sean, I agree, man. And then, you know, age factor too. I forgot to add that to the equation. You know, Adrien's an older guy now. He's the older the group that's coming through. 6 months may be sufficient enough. You know what I'm saying? Adequate enough. Let me say adequate enough to counteract Mother Nature or Father Time. You know what I'm saying? Especially in boxing, you know what I'm saying? He's in his 30s now. These young guys in their 20s coming up at 140. It seemed like 140 is going to be the weight class where it's the deciding factor right there, because I know a lot of guys going into 140 can't make 35. Adrien's still there. You got Anthony Peterson, who's there, that everybody's trying to purposely not mention. But every time I do a show, I'm gonna mention Anthony Peterson name with the superb record that he has. He should be mentioned. He should be a top 10 contender. But like I was saying, you know, you got all these guys coming in 140, and Adrien is there. Adrien, that's a wise thing to do, is stay in shape. And now, and speaking of, you know, the guys that train 6 months, Anthony Peterson, he trains all year long, consistently for years, been training all year long, always in shape. I mean, winning like triathlons and marathons and all of that stuff, man. Like the super, you know, stuff like getting in the rain and water. I remember seeing pictures of him, so I know he trains all year long. But that's how much they love boxing. So, and they understand the body, how the body works. Now, that's why I say Adrien Broner 6 months is not too much for a guy that drinks and does, you know what I'm saying, things other than, you know what I'm saying, what's needed outside of boxing. So, yeah, I don't think so, man. What's next for us, Sean?
Yeah, one last thing is about that 140 division is, a lot of people can't make 135, and then there's a lot of people at 140 that don't want to move up to see Boots. Next is quick shout out to Alexander Usyk, who has acquired the rights to his pay-per-view, his rematch on August 20th versus Anthony Joshua. He's acquired the rights to the television broadcast to all of Ukraine, so they can see it for free. He wanted to pay for it, but the Saudis, I guess, who run the station or whatever that was broadcasting it, they allowed him to have it for free. So shout out to him, and shout out to the people over there who been through enough and don't really need to be paying for a fight.
Right. That's very, especially you got bombs and stuff going over and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Paying for a pay-per-view fight is the last thing they concerned about.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's a whole lot of issues in terms of like lighting and electricity, water going on that they more concerned about. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. And staying in the heavyweight division, hope maybe. Got Deontay Wilder's back in training. Photos appeared of him training with Michael Hunter and Badu Jack. And a video of him meeting Francis Ngannou. He went over to him, shook his hand, said, nice to meet you. And then as they walked away, Wilder admitted, I'm just trying to get back in the groove of things,
Okay.
So what you think about his comeback? You think he's gonna be? My question is really, do you think he's gonna make a comeback at heavyweight, or is he gonna try to go for Bridger weight and maybe, keep his weight down a little and try to build that division? Yeah.
Nah, I think being a heavyweight champion of the world, it's nothing. It's no going back. I don't think he would go backwards because of that, which would make sense for him to go back to heavyweight. Go to Bridget, but because he was the heavyweight champion of the world, I think he's going to stay up there. And the fight that I think should bring him out of retirement, because money is the first thing that we should be focused on. I don't care what nobody say. Deontay Wilder and AJ is still Anthony Joshua is still a $50 million fight or better. People will Mike Tyson remember. Mike Tyson was not the heavyweight champion and was not the dominant force that he once was. Remember, Evander Holyfield just lost to Michael Moore, had heart issues, and they still created $100 million fight. It's the heavyweight division is totally different from lightweights, and the Floyd Mayweather sitcom. I'm not saying it right there. The Floyd Mayweather people imitating, trying to be undefeated saga was non-existing during that time frame in the heavyweight division. So Anthony Joshua and Wilder still is a $50 to $100 million fight right now today. It's bigger than him versus the heavyweight champion of the world that defeated him now, Tyson Fury. It's bigger than that. It's just those two have dominant personalities. They were undefeated, and people say, we want to see this. Because Holyfield and Mike Tyson has always had that same issue. They were so dominant in the heavyweight division that even during their their diminishing prime, they were still $50 to $100 million dominant pay-per-view draws because people wanted to see the clash of these two gladiators that was invincible. AJ and Wilder was invincible at one time. So I think he should stay in the heavyweight division, fight AJ. Hopefully AJ wins this fight, get the title back and make it worth Deontay Wilder's you know what I'm saying? To make this fight happen. So I'm looking forward to him coming back into the heavyweight division. The Bridget weight is a good idea. It's more of his frame is safety wise, and he'll dominate that much easily. But in terms of being a heavy, now if he was never the heavyweight champion, I might say yeah. But I'm just saying no because of the fact that he has the title and that AJ and him is still a mega fight. It's a mega pay-per-view draw. In my eyes, because I would want to see it, you know, even if they both look. And there's other guys out there that he's still capable of fighting too. But AJ is the big thing. That would be my only reason to come out of retirement if I was Deontay Wilder.
Yeah. So you think he should come back and fight Joshua like right now? First fight?
If he win the title, if Anthony Joshua defeats Usyk, I would say yes.
I'm not letting him come back fight nobody first fight. Like
if he lose to Usyk, I wouldn't take Usyk first. No, I would take AJ first. Yes, I would say if he defeats, if Joshua defeats him, because Joshua's style set up for him and knock him out.
Yeah, but you gotta give him something. He coming off 2 losses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He coming off. You gotta give him something to build that confidence. You gotta give him something to get back in the groove of things like he's trying to do in the gym. But nothing really, nothing really compares to being in that ring. You know what I mean? So I want him to have at least a fight under his belt with somebody. Who
that's risky.
Who'll give him some rounds.
That's risky to me, I think. And I've seen people do that before. And that's why I was saying, like, if you got a deal on the table that you know that is worth it. I remember Mercer did the same thing with Tommy Hurt. Tommy Hurst did that to Mercer one, right? No. Who was that did that? And Mercer was trying to get the dude to pay him money. He was like, I could split the money. He was saying it during the fight. Who was that? Damn. Mercer did it, and then he was scheduled to fight Holyfield next. It was a tune-up fight. It never happened, man, and he didn't, and that was into that. That was. I'm gonna figure it out off air.
I mean, if that's the case, what you think Joshua would do to him if he lose to some regular dude? Like,
Yeah, but I think
at least he make the money. Like, Wilder got bread, man. He ain't tripping about.
But this is $100 million fight we talking here. You know what I'm saying? It's a different level.
If
and I think he should come back for that. I don't think he should come back for that. He's down to the end of his career anyway. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion. I think he's got 2 to 3 more fights in him. Take 1 more fight, 2 more fights. If he chooses not to fight Anthony, if Anthony wins, it's other guys out there, that he may want to fight. It's some guys that's risky, man, especially for the style like him and the guy that lacks fundamentals, man. It's kind of tricky to just take fights with a guy.
But I mean, it's still only one person that beat him. Yeah, and I still think it's only one person that can. Think it's only one person that can.
yeah, he's a pure boxer, man. You got to give him that. So
but I'm thinking about this Bridgerweight division being that WBC is the only one that use it right now. So realistically, everybody over 200 is still a heavyweight, But if every other sanctioning body actually adopts this Bridgerweight division, do you think it could possibly be the best division in boxing and take over what heavyweights used to be?
That's a good question. I don't think so. I think it'll be a more skillful division. It'll be more skillful, but I don't think it might, because of the amateurs have light heavyweight and super heavyweight. I mean, that's what they had when I was fighting. So they had light heavyweight and super heavyweight, and the light heavyweights were still moving, skillful, jabbing. You know, if just take example of, I'm gonna give example of who we could be considered probably light heavyweight back then. Muhammad Ali would be probably considered a light heavyweight back then. Or then you had those super heavyweights, man. They were knocking everybody out, like Riddick Bowe and guys like that. You know what I'm saying? Will be, because Riddick Bowe is kind of big guy, you know what I'm saying? Tall guy. So
Lennox, all them.
Yeah, Lennox Lewis I don't know. Lennox Lewis, I think he was around 220 back then though. If I'm not mistaken. He wasn't no super heavyweight. He was a
tall
heavyweight.
dude.
He was a light heavyweight though. Yeah. I don't think he was a super heavy. They might have been. I gotta research that. My apologies.
Because him and Bo fought in the amateurs.
They fought in the Olympics. Yeah. So I gotta look that up, make sure they were super heavyweight. Let me check that now.
Yeah, but I think it could be, man. I look back at like all of the past heavyweights, and most of the top ones could have been Bridgerweights. Like you got Tyson, Holyfield, like you mentioned earlier. You got Ali. You got guys who really just couldn't make it in the division because they were too small. You got like Chris Bird. And you imagine when Roy moved up to heavyweight, won the championship when Roy was still Roy. And you know what I mean? If he wouldn't have had to like fight bigger guys, he probably could have just stayed up there. You know what I'm saying? But
you talking about Roy Jones?
Yeah. Even when he got up there and fought and beat Ortiz. If it was a Bridgerweight division, he could have stayed up there and had some fights. Yeah,
we were saying
right. He would have dominated it.
We were right. He was a super heavyweight.
I figured he was tall as outdoors. Both of them was about the same size.
Yeah, him and Lennox was super heavyweights.
Yeah, so but and the problem was like now it's so many really big guys, like 6'8", 6'9", and 280 pounds and all this, that the guys who are like Mike and all them guys and whatever, they just getting towered over, and and you might have more skill and they're a little faster and this, but these guys leaning on them, towering over them, and just beating them down. It's like, the big weight difference is showing now. So I think that weight class is good, and that division would still have a skill advantage over the super heavyweights, the bigger heavyweights, but they would, they won't have to deal with 300-pound dudes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you, man. Safety wise, I think it would be the best thing for. I don't even think that Deontay Wilder shouldn't go up that weight, go down that way, because he already obtained the world heavyweight title. Anybody else that didn't do such, that they created this and you under 225 or whatever the weight limit is, you should go there and get a title right there, and we will respect that title there as well. Because that heavyweight thing is it's kind of dangerous for you to be fighting somebody 350, 390, and you weigh 205, man. That's some crucial stuff, man. Imagine what Mike Tyson had to go through to knock some of them jokers down. That's that big, you know what I'm saying?
Razor Ruddock.
Yeah, Razor Ruddock was a big, strong. He said he kicked like a kicking mule.
Yeah, Frank Bruno, big muscle bound.
Yeah, yeah. But Mike got some of them jokers up out of there though,
Got
too.
him up
Though.
out of there, man.
Yeah.
But imagine if he didn't have to deal with that size or whatever. That dude.
That's a true statement too. That's true. Yeah, but the Bridget weight is not a bad idea. I think it's safer for the smaller heavyweights.
I like it for Wilder because I think it's something that he can build. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He can build it. Like coming back, he's a draw.
Yeah.
Wilder's going to draw regardless.
Yeah. And my only reason saying he shouldn't, his knockout ratio in the
He'll dominate.
It's like he still has one of the best knockout ratios in history. So I wouldn't. He still can get you up out of there in the heavyweight. So I don't know, man.
WBC, offer that man the world to fight in that division, man.
It may make sense though.
Hey, man, build this division up.
Yeah,
build this division up, man. Because you got somebody, you got a star who could fight in that division.
Yeah,
it's like cruiserweights are. This is dead, and if the heavyweight, like most guys who are that size, probably won't go heavyweight.
Yeah,
probably will go heavyweight because the name recognition and you know what I mean. But if Wilder gives that division some quality, basically, I think that's could be good. Like he could build that division up to actually save future fighters from having to deal with.
Right, I get what you're saying.
Bigger guys, you know what I mean?
He can be the one that opens up that weight class. Yeah.
He could usher it in, man. Look, man, this is cool. You come down, you can stay down here and fight guys your size,
Yeah, I feel you.
You ain't gotta fight these big 360-pound dudes, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so that's all I'm thinking.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying that's all I'm thinking. Like, just let that man usher in that division, and then that division can grow from there. It's like planting a seed.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I feel you.
And in the future, that thing could be whoo-wee, because most of the better skilled guys are smaller. Like, you know what I mean? It's just the only difference is the size, and they just can't get inside, or they can't.
For one thing, I would say, if they would have came out with that back in the 90s, you talking Michael Moore, Chris Brown, Chris Bird. Ooh,
man, that thing would have been.
It would have been it would have been a chop division then if it would have been it back then. Man. And who knows, Holyfield might would have went across that division.
Holyfield would have been there. Holyfield would have been there. Yeah.
And dominated that. And then it's like a building block into the bigger weights. Now you should have the option of anything past. You have the option between going heavyweight and Bridget weight. You can take that chance. If you want to 220.
220, but if you want to fight in the Bridget weight class.
Right, you can go heavy. Yeah.
You can if you want to fight, if you under 225 and you want to fight in Bridget weight, you can. But if you 220, if you 215, but you want to fight if you want to fight a 300-pound dude, it's still the heavyweight division. You know
that's
what I mean?
smart.
But it's just a little sub-genre of the heavyweight division to keep the smaller guys fighting each other.
Exactly. Because I agree with that part for sure. Yeah. What else is going on?
That's it, man. That's all we got. Like,
what about the cancellation of the
Rockman, Jake Paul?
Rockman, yeah.
Yeah, I think we talked about that.
I think we did.
It was unfortunate, man. I was looking forward to it. I think I can't gauge what's what, you know what I mean, with it. I think Rockman knew that it was supposed to be 205. I think he stated that he was trying to it's sort of like trying to play games, I guess, like trying to get them to give him more weight or whatever. So it was like, the commission said, we could do 205. Jake agreed, said you got till 11:59 to agree to this contract. Rockman came back, said, I think we should go. I want to try and make 215 or whatever. And Paul just like, forget it, cancel it. Dang. So now I'm like, I don't know what, you know what I mean, how to feel about that. Like, granted, he thought he could just try to work work them and try to negotiate a little more time, which is, it's a good thing, I guess. Smart trying, but then Paul just canceled it at 8 o'clock saying that, I'm tired of playing games. I'm not going to play these games. So
Oh man,
it sort of backfired in Rockman's face, I guess. But
I was
should have
looking
gave that man
forward to
till
I was looking
11:59.
forward to that fight, man. For real,
Yeah,
we had it all
was.
planned out that day too.
Yeah, I was
God dang.
geeked. I was wanting to see that one. I was wanting to see it, man. But
Yeah,
we'll see. I think it's interesting because he did have the Muslim boxer as a backup.
okay.
And I don't know why he canceled the whole card when he had a backup fight. You know what I
because
mean?
he probably got to rebuild it. I think because it was built off to them two.
Nah,
Third opponent too.
I think Dana White said that numbers wasn't looking too hot.
Dana White, what was it?
yeah.
UFC fighter.
UFC guy had president of UFC, but he said the numbers was looking bad for the so that might be why. It might be a whole thing behind the scenes about like, look, let's just get out of this because you got to think Showtime paid a lot of money for that too. They put out the All Access. They had All Access.
Yeah, they did.
They got the post. They got the post thing up that they were supposed to run and all that. So they put out a lot of bread, man. And if they weren't going to recoup that afterwards, it's just like, what was the use? I guess.
Damn.
That might have been the issue. I'm not sure. Don't get me.
Right.
Don't get me to say.
It's
But
all good.
it's the way it looks. You know what I mean? It looks like it might have been something more than just. Nah, he ain't want to make it. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, he said that he would get on. I mean, they said he got to get on the scale periodically, and they had all these little things that he had to do. So, okay, I don't want to make 215. Look, now, we only gonna do 205. You got till 11:59. 11:59 come up. Okay, what's you accept the deal in that? You know what I'm saying? But to cancel at 8, to cancel it at 8 o'clock that night is still saying that okay, it's something else going on that they didn't want to.
What was his weight during that day? Did they ever find out how much he weighed that day?
I'm not sure because I know he was supposed to be in the 230s. Then he made it down, and I think they say he had to weigh in at 215. I think he made 215, but then he bulked back up.
They tried to break him down. They needed that advantage, but
it's like everybody. It's like everybody's saying, man, that was a big weight cut for a month.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I wouldn't have took that.
I wouldn't have took it. They say you shouldn't have took it from the beginning.
Yeah, and it would have been he wouldn't have been able to work hard as he wanted to work in a gym like he wanted to. He'd be more concerned about weight, no skill. He wouldn't be thinking about no plan. He would have no game planning.
No, it'd have been all just cutting.
It'd be all cutting weight and getting
not eating like you need to.
Have no energy to train.
Yeah,
it wouldn't have worked out, man. That was best for him. That man was a dead man walking in that ring anyway. If it would have happened.
Yeah, I mean, it'd have been rough. But it'd have been rough, man.
yeah, it would have been rough. But that's it, man. That's it for us today, man. Great show.
Hey, man.
We got some more coming down the road, man. We're going to be at the Maryland Live Casino Live in Hanover, Maryland this Saturday. So if y'all in the building, if you're in the Baltimore, DC area, come on out and get your tickets, man. You can go to www.axs.com. Excuse me, it's Jetta Promotions with Jordan White. You got Dumont Nicholson, and you got a lot of other great fighters like Victor Williams.
We interviewed him.
Brandon Chambers. You got Monzo, the Punisher, and you got Jaquim. I think Joseph Veazey fight got canceled. I saw that on his Facebook page. So his fight got canceled, but everybody else is a go. So we see y'all there Saturday. Come on out, man. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
Jetta Promotions fights are like no other in terms of the production, the professionalism, etc. Man, and live just lays the carpet out for that squad, man. So come on out there and support.
Definitely, we'll be there.
The second win, Boxing Media. Peace.